Yes, welcome back ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Blitz Universe to the channel. My name is martindogger and today we'll be taking a look at maps you will never ever see again in World of Tanks Blitz. And that includes this map, Middleburg, at least the old version that is. Where you can see there's a cap in the middle of the map. The hill was a proper hill. It would take you ages to climb up there. And by the time you would get there in your T43 or with your Chinu platoon in a tier 5, because this was in the old matchmaking still +2, -2, then you would eventually need to dive down because the Reds were capping that base. This was a proper thing, guys, in this old meta. You could actually cap the base in Middleburg. It's something that you can't really do now anymore. And when Middleburg was redesigned, they put the cap underneath, or beneath that church, which is still there. But you can also see that you would have to go up against Tiger 2s in your Chinu, and then you would raise there and shoot and reset the cap and then explode. But eventually you would lose the game anyway. So yeah, map number 1, Middleburg in its old version. This one as well, Black Goldfield. It is still in the game, obviously, and pretty much it has the same design, at least from an aerial perspective, from top-down view. But you can see that the difference in height in terrain was far bigger than it is now. You would really need to get the case 100%. The IS-4 was still a useless tank and the IS-7 was the tank to go for. But take a look as I try to aim for this IS-7. Take a look at all the houses in the back. This was a really elevated area, and if you didn't get control of this part of the map of the case, then you would have massive problems, because you could practically rain down on everybody who would be sitting in the middle plateau or on the road, and nobody ever went into the factory area. Goldfield got redesigned in update 2-point-something ages ago, but it's still interesting to see this old footage where you could just wait it out. The game is so slow paced as well. Here's another one. I got this footage from Dimsy, actually an old World of Tanks Blitz player as well. Didn't get any footage of Desert Sands myself, but this was the old Desert Sands, guys. And take a look at the size of the map as well. It's just so small. There was a big trench on the left, on the western flank basically, where you could sit, and in spawn 2 of the green spawn there was a elevated position where a tank destroyer would just sit. And if it was a hull down tank destroyer, then yeah, good luck digging that one out. And it was also a map that really had that separation because of the rail line in the middle. There were not that many opportunities to cross, basically on the top and the bottom of the railroad and underneath, just under the bridge. You didn't have those ramps, which you have now on Desert Sands. It's still a corridor map, but in a way it was way worse. You won't see Desert Sands again, at least not in this, guys, and let's be fair, guys, it's for the better. I think at least it is. One thing that is a little bit annoying, would be nice to see back, is actually this one, Winter Malinovka, where everybody went for the hill, but nobody went to the lake ever. This is really a copy of the PC version of Winter Malinovka, given a little bit of a winter theme, and then people would play here. And you can see the lemming train on the top. Take a look at the minimap. Everybody's going there. And this is another video from Dimsy who explained I wasn't going to go in my Panther up towards the mill because they had a T29. If you would have had hull down tanks, you would just go towards the mill. You would sit hull down and shit on everybody who would drive down over here. Because the mill was the way to go. Not so much anymore. It now pretty much seems the meta has turned the other way. You should go towards the ice road, towards the ice lake, and then you can gain map control. But not on this old version. You would need to go towards the mill, and then 9 out of 10 times you would win the game. Old Winter Malinovka, never to be seen again. And this one then, oh boy, Mines in its old, guys, with the cap around the entrance of the hill practically, and a far more open area here around this island side. And you can see where I'm in an E5 with still that huge cupola on top. Obviously, again, this is +2, -2 matchmaking, hence there are tier 8s on both teams as well. But yeah, the meta for going up towards the hill was still there in this Chinukai Shinobi when it was first in the game. And also take a look at how slow everything is, guys. Oh, you didn't get the view. You didn't even have provisions. You would need to get food if you would want to, and then sacrifice your adrenaline or your speed boost, and you could only use the speed boost just once. But there was another thing which was in a way pretty good. Your premium ammo would still deal the same amount of damage as your normal ammo would, and of course there would still be players who would push you in the line of sight. And then again, if you're complaining about people camping at dead rail now, think again. Just think again. This old dead rail, this was even worse. It was truly horrendous. I have a really nice game in the T30 on the channel. I'll link to that one below. But take a look at all this, everybody. There were ridges everywhere where tank destroyers would sit. This ridge is just behind the IS-7. People will sit there with their tank destroyer, engage binoculars, engage a camo net, and nobody would be able to find them. And if you would be able to get like the top speed I'm doing now on this STB, that was a thing too. The game was far more slow paced as it was, and you can see my adrenaline is running down, and after 3 seconds it will be completely gone. Rockfield! Talk about small maps. Take a look at the minimap. Take a look at the minimap, guys. It's just about a quarter of the size of the map, or the potential, maybe even 2/5 is not used, and this was a mandatory ridge to go to. Everybody and their mother would go towards the bunkers area. You do not go on the northern flank, or you would be like in a T95 or an AT15A when with the old matchmaking. There you could go towards the cap and you could sit there behind the rock and nobody would be able to dig you out. But yeah, this is old Rockfield, and this was actually the, let's put it this way, this was the chopped Rockfield already. There used to be far more bushes over here where you would have to go and spot and wait for somebody to shoot, and then you would spot for your teammates, and they would whack the enemy. It was more about PC gameplay in a mobile version, basically. Not so much anymore. It is in a way just go all guns blazing YOLO Rambo mode style. All guns blazing YOLO Rambo mode style would not work on this one. Old Oasis spawns, like the really old Oasis spawns. This is like Sand River from PC dropped on a mobile version. Everybody would want to go to this corner or to the bottom right corner, the southeast corner, because you will get an elevated position over everybody on the field, and you could just rain down on everybody who would drive in over here. You can see I'm in the M46 pattern. Again, +2, -2 matchmaking, so you could bully tier 7 tanks as well. And why, Martin, is there no sound on this little clip? Well, this is one of my oldest videos, and oldest videos I have. Hence the stupid filter on this as well. But yeah, the commentary on that video, cringe 101. And obviously this had a strange cap area as well, with a big hill in the middle, so you could sit in the cap and then behind the hill and just hide it out. Oasis spawns was changed, guys. This is the second version of Oasis spawns. The one in the game now is actually the third one, and this is pretty much the same, except for it being a bit higher, more elevated areas, as you can see. And there was a problem, because the tanks just weren't that good in terms of horsepower and everything, and they couldn't really get up these areas, all these hills and everything. So what Wargaming basically did, they just had Oasis spawns, and they then grabbed a big hammer and they did like that. They just flattened the map, like they seem to have done on a lot of occasions. But yeah, capping was still a thing, as you can see. But you can sit behind these big rocks, which are to my right at the moment. The Sherman Jumbo was still a Tech 3 tank as well. Oh boy, the nostalgia on this on this video. But you can sit behind these rocks and then yeah, you just sit there and shoot the cap. Worked really nicely. This one you will never see again. Wargaming are kind of changing it, but I doubt they will be back soon. Mirage it is, together with the Death Toaster, the mighty Death Toaster. Still a collectible tank, but it has the bad gun, which is a bit annoying. This one was far better, because it had better traverse left and right. But we're going to shoot this DW2, Seal Clubbing Tank par excellence. And we're going to turn around, as you can see, and by this time consumables like a speed boost and adrenaline had a cooldown, so that's why there's a clock ticking over there. But there was also still this. I'm going to go forward, I'm going to sit in the bush, and we're going to wait. 3, 2, 1. Binox and camo! Boom! Hello, Electro. We missed the shot. Not sure what happened there, but we missed it. The KV1 has taken him out. This was a thing, guys. With the death toaster, with that speed you had, you could just sit in a bush and wait, or sit on dead wood and spot for your team with a tank destroyer. It was interesting to see that. For Despair, in its old version, it has had a few event versions as well, for the Olympics, for example. But what also happened with this tank, with this map, it has been redesigned a little bit less rubble on the left and the right, a little bit different in terms of textures. I think this little hill which I am sitting behind now is now bigger and everything around the sea cap area. Some approaches were slightly changed, but also take note of the detail in the background. There's no real detail, as you can see. Much has changed in the game for the better, obviously, in terms of graphics and everything. But yeah, this is the old original version of Fort Despair. Right, what do we have next then? This one, Lost Temple. This one has been removed as well. And this is the oldest Lost Temple, where you could play with your T-34 and use APCR, because it did the same amount of damage as your regular ammo. Then you would have to shoot an IS-7, and we're going to shoot him once. There we go, and then you would have to reload for quite some time. This is the old one, guys, the flatter version of Lost Temple, basically. Still with the stairs, so we're going to shoot this T-32, and we're going to hopefully reload in time, but spoiler alert, we are not going to be able to reload in time. We're going to get blown up by the I-7. But this map had been changed. They made it into this version, which was, again, in terms of aerial view, pretty much the same, but different. More lucid in color, not as dynamic, because yeah, the river area, it was just bad. It's not. The old river area had a lot of flanking possibilities, had a nice corner basically where you could sit hill down and provide supporting fire into the temple area, and that has just gone. That went away, which was annoying. But this one, ooh, Copperfield, with the Pit of Doom. The Pit of Despair, where you didn't want to go, basically. And take a look at the time it takes this cruiser to repair. It's just, even repair times seem to have gone a bit quicker. This was also the map where from the eastern spawn, from red spawn in this perspective, you could actually go up the hill and behind that windmill and then shit on everybody who was in the western spawn. And this was also in the update where if you would play a Marder 2, like I'm doing here, where you would then go forward, you could potentially, just potentially, you could go forward and then try to shoot somebody, like I'm doing here, and then you would meet this guy. Boo! Derp. Anyways, we have this map still, which is completely fine. This is Vineyards. It's still in the game. Again, camo, binocs. This is still in the game. It is, I think, 100% the same, except for the atmospheric lighting. I think it's a bit of a... It's a bit annoying that Wargaming have removed this, because I think it really added to the atmosphere of the map. It made it look really good. I would love for them to bring this back, but it is what it is, guys. At the moment, this is Vineyards, obviously, and as far as I know, there's no way Wargaming are gonna do this again. Maybe they've changed a bit in terms of the bushes, but yeah. The nighttime Vineyards is not coming back any time soon. We're gonna try and shoot this tiger, and spoiler alert, we will succeed. And while we are sitting here, our camo net and binocs will engage, so we are not spotted anyway. We're gonna shoot him once again, and he gets blown up. Lovely stuff. Clap, clap, clap. And then this one to end it with, guys. False Creek in its old version. This one was properly reworked. Why so? Because you could do this. You could go into the cap, and then people would have a really hard time decapping you. So yeah, we're gonna end on this one, guys. The old False Creek no-kill cap old tactic, 100% a scrap tactic, but it's a win anyway. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Blitz Universe. I'll catch you all on the next video. Cheers, happy tanking, bye bye.